Hello everybody and welcome to the ITK Soccer Show. It is the 28th of April and we're back with full complement. John has returned from the West. And how was the gig in Galway, John? That's what everybody really wants to know.
It was atrocious.
Now you or the fellow comics?
I was pretty good, but the crowd was 75% students of not English being their first language.
I for some reason thought you said when you were saying 75%, I thought you were going to say the crowd were Saudi. I was like, they wouldn't appreciate your humour. Yeah.
I didn't ask each of them where they were from, but it's alright, worth a drive.
So you don't consider people from Galway as Irish, basically? Is that what you're saying?
No, like
but they're not really.
Often
Connemara people now, they're a bit.
Oh, that's what you meant by not their first language.
Nah, there was a silent disco one after, which I skipped.
Have you ever done one of them?
Yeah, they're great.
Yes.
I've never done one. You just seem like an absolute idiot walking.
One of the funnest things you can do is not wear a headset in a silent disco and just walk around looking at everybody else.
You've gone deaf.
You do. You also think that you didn't get the brown acid. But anyway, enough about the brown acid. In the background here we have the last 10 minutes of the whole Liverpool game. You'll know the result by the time you hear this, but we don't. It does look like it'll be a whole victory and Liverpool are just the shits. Anyway, getting on to news and then we'll move on to our Premier League roundup. First, Bournemouth and Watford promoted. The best thing coming out of... Technically, yes.
They have to lose 19-0 to Charlton, who tweeted about it.
Saying that there's a chance, Well, the best thing about this was the clip of the Bournemouth chairman in the locker room after the game. Do we all see this? This man losing his marbles.
Well, you have to give it to him. He invested $100,000 in Bournemouth in 2009. He got 170 million for last night.
They were.
That's your reaction.
They were in 2008 or 9? Yeah, it might have been the year he came in. They were like 2 points away from being relegated to the conference.
Yeah.
It's like, what a change now. Like, it's
And
incredible.
how did it happen? Was it just appointing the right managers? Or?
Eddie Howe's a manager. He was manager of Burnley, but they've got a bit of a sugar daddy in there as well, pumping a bit of money in. So that helps. Like their record signing is Callum Wilson from Coventry, who they got over the last summer for $3 million. He's a good player, but like $3 million as their record thing for the whole time. I think their attendance at the ground is less than 15,000.
Where were Leeds in 2009?
We were in League One.
I just want to know if they lapped you.
No, they beat us 5-0 last year as well. But we actually did the double over Bournemouth this year. We beat them home and away.
They were great last night.
So there you are now.
Do you know what this means though? For the first time in 100 years, in August, first day of the season, Arsenal won't be the top team in the league.
Why not?
Because they're AFC Bournemouth.
Oh, wow.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
It's AFC Bournemouth. Oh.
That's incredible.
There you go now. John with the stats.
That's a tremendous chat.
John the statistician.
I guess we don't know how their summer business is going to be, but what kind of chance do Bournemouth have?
I give them a chance. Like it'd be like when Blackpool came up.
They're more like Leicester.
Are they more like
Leicester? Leicester have a bigger stadium and bigger facilities and everything.
Well,
I think
I mentioned the way they play.
No, Bournemouth they're a pretty good team. Like they scored 96 goals in the championship this year, so they've definitely, and they've got some decent players. You never know. Why not? Everyone liked them to do well. So
okay, let's go through the Premier League results, and time-wise, we should just finish up with the Liverpool.
By the way, guys, I did say Bournemouth would get promoted the very first episode of this.
Well,
if I can call that again.
Sometimes
incredible.
Dan goes back and listens to every episode.
I do, because make sure that my point has come across. Everything I've got wrong with is the majority of things I don't mention.
You're peaking a bit there, so
cool
the jets.
Stupid Mike.
John, I think it's more a case that he knows we don't go back and listen.
That's a good point.
Okay, so
no one else does anyway.
Let's have a look at these shows are in a date in 6 days. Okay, Southampton versus Spurs, 2-2, great game. Both still playing for Europa League football and trying to get a place in the top 7. So Pele back in scoring form, he got a brace, and Eric Lamela and Nasser Chadli with the 2 for Spurs. It was a pretty exciting game. The one thing about Southampton is they really kept Harry Kane quiet, which was very important. And do you think that they should have expected more considering they were at home though?
Well, it was kind of a mental match. Like I consider it now that the top 4 is pretty much done. That the 3 teams, Liverpool, Spurs and Southampton, are fighting out for 7th, hoping not to get
Europa.
Yeah. Which actually they get, apparently.
Because the Carling Cup went to Chelsea.
The FA Cup, Aston Villa don't get a spot unless they win it. They're the new rules.
But the Carling Cup, it's free another spot, wouldn't it?
No, I'm not sure.
Because the Carling Cup you get, we're in Swansea in the Europa League there 2 years ago. Wasn't that was the whole thing if Bradford got into
I
Europe?
think you have to win it now.
Yeah, but the Carling Cup, it would free a spot because Chelsea are already one of the European
Did they face
spots.
in the final?
They beat Spurs 2-0.
Spurs were in it already. I'm not sure.
So I don't know, but it's something like that.
Liverpool and West Brom at the Hawthorns was a dreadful game. One thing we can say, and we'll talk about this more when we get to Chelsea and Jose's tactics, Tony Pulis adopted a style for this game where even when Bally and Sterling had the ball, our two most attacking players, there was 8 people behind it at all times. It was a right tactic if they were looking for a draw. Liverpool just couldn't break them down. To be honest, it reminded me of the Chelsea game last season with the slip.
They were.
There was no need for them to play the side that they played. Like Liverpool, in the winning run that they had, they fought so hard for every goal. Like Henderson and Coutinho scoring worldies are just carrying the goals. And since the 3 big defeats, it's impossible.
It's been Liverpool really been really been poor.
Yeah, and we're looking
pretty
at
much
here.
since the Man United game. That was like,
oh yeah.
Did you get the hiding off Arsenal the week before? Or was it after?
After.
I don't know. It just seemed there was nothing about it there, but it's kind of continued on. But West Brom, to be fair, they put everyone on the ball because they know. I think they really realise one more point, and we're 100% safe. And like, you're not going to take Liverpool on no matter how bad they're playing in a football match. So they can sit back and defend. Liverpool are struggling to score goals. They're struggling for form. Pulis, I think he got it right, but you know, he's in the Premier League. That was his job. Like, they were 18th, 19th when he came in.
Well, it was his mission, and it was certainly mission accomplished.
You know.
Yeah, you give him that. Stoke City and Sunderland had a 1-1 draw. Charles Adam.
He's fighting for that move to Liverpool, isn't he?
Jesus Christ.
He's just at that, like, he's scoring such quality goals that, like, none of the big teams would want them.
No.
But he's scoring such nice goals that, like, one of those shit.
Would you have him back? Perfect replacement for Steve Gerrard.
The only reason I like Charlie Adam was he gave me hope that one day I could play in midfield. So, like, walling around with my fat arse, kicking long balls, like, I could do that.
You score a 57-yard goal.
What's did Carragher say about him? He says, I was sick of playing with him. He used to do it, like, every week.
Yeah.
And he goes, it was about time he got one in when he scored the goal against Chelsea.
There's a great part in Craig Bellamy's book. He was talking about when Dalglish came in. Well, when Dalglish was buying all the lads, like your Downings and all that.
Aye.
And he was saying that when they signed Charlie Adam, 2 experienced Liverpool players, Gerrard and Carragher, basically were like, why are we signing this fucker? Like, we played against Blackpool twice, and he just strolling around out of breath after 15 minutes. Like, and then he started.
He did score twice in Anfield, though.
He was like, then I felt a bit harsh, and I started talking to him. He was boasting about this last holiday he was just on, and he vomited in the swimming pool and all. Like, it's like,
are you serious? Bellers. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, it was 1-1. Any notes on that match? Connor Wickham with the goal for Sunderland.
Big point for Sunderland, but I said last week Sunderland will go, and I think they will.
QPR and West Ham had as much of a London stinker derby as there's ever been.
Well, Steve Austin missed a penalty.
Yeah, the relegation battle came down to some penalties this weekend.
Aye. Steve Austin missed a penalty.
Yeah.
Okay.
The glass broke.
Anything to say about this besides that, really? I doubt
QPR are pretty much, they're in big trouble now. Like, that was on paper West Ham at home.
That means they have to pay the 50 million or they're in the conference.
That's right.
Yes. Well, I'm sure Tony Fernandez
people
will weasel his way out of that.
People really aren't talking about that much, are they?
Yeah, I
think forgot about it.
Yeah, it's more. Let's
hope the FA haven't.
Yeah, it's as important for them as anybody else. So you guys,
wait a minute.
You guys enlightened. Yeah, you guys enlightened me that it was 7 on the bounce for Newcastle in terms of defeats. 3-2 to Swansea at St James's Park.
There was supposed to be a protest as well against Ashley and John Carver. But John Carver managed Leeds for a while in 2006, and he was an absolute disaster.
There was a Channel 4 report on Sports Direct.
Yeah, there was a big thing, and Newcastle were really annoyed with it or something. But I don't know. To be fair, if they win one more match, Newcastle will stay up. But they have to get a proper manager in. Like, John Carver is way out of that. Like, you can arguably say since 2015, Newcastle have been by far the worst team in the Premier League.
Yes.
Them alongside probably Sunderland.
See John Carver's interview when he was like, I can't score the goals, I can't clear those headers. It's like, what are you giving out to me for? You're the manager.
It's in Bill's house and Fred's house. Hull brought momentum into this game we're watching now by beating Crystal Palace 2-0 at Selhurst Park. The Crystal Palace kind of rejuvenation since Pardew really doesn't exist anymore. They tried to beat Hull on the counter, which just says a lot considering they were at home. And they really didn't give up much of a shout. Hedging Palace will fare because I was going to keep Pardew.
Well, I think,
Palace will be fine.
I think Pardew will. Pardew's just trying to get Newcastle relegated because he's getting all the big wins against City and stuff like that. But when it comes to like matches against West Brom and these lads, he's just like, go on there.
Yeah, but do you realise though, like, how good Pardew will look if Newcastle go down?
Oh yeah,
like
Newcastle aren't going down.
I don't think they will.
5
but
points.
It's
John
seems a bit more convincing.
I'm more hopeful. This is my one thing I look forward to this season.
You love when a big Premier League stalwart goes down, as do I.
He's loved it since 2004 when Leeds went down.
When West Ham went down, I thought it was
year?
Good crack. The most recent time.
Most recent one.
Okay, so Burnley and Leicester. You mentioned earlier, John, that Leicester putting together the good stuff.
About the Crystal Palace game.
Please.
I was watching Goals on Sunday, and they had Punchin and Balassi on the couch. And those guys just did not want to talk at all. Like I had the TV up full volume, and they're like, "Yeah, it was not a great result there against whatever. We had better chances."
Were they doing shifty eyes as well, like you're doing now?
Yeah, it's like,
were they hoping nobody would hear them?
I think so. Of course, because of James Punchin, they're like, "Do you remember that time you took a shit during a game? Wasn't that great?"
All right.
Yeah.
So Leicester putting together a good run.
4 wins in a row.
Oh, we don't have a table in front of us. But yeah, 4 wins in a row. It's pretty good.
They're out of the relegation zone.
Football 365 had a fantastic article about Esteban Cambiasso and how actually crucial he's been to
the signing of the season, arguably. Like
he's been the second half of the table signing of the season.
For free transfer, like he's got some big goals as well, some big especially at home.
Yeah, but
where you have to win your home games.
You can't give signing this season if someone's had like a couple of good matches. Like.
Yes,
for the level
bottom half of the table side of the season. Actually, speaking of Esteban Cambiasso, who of course made his career at Inter, they're retiring the number 4 jersey.
It was great. I saw that.
I love the way you're not a sentimental man. Do you not think Zanetti would deserve it though? Like his tenure.
If that was a thing, yeah, go ahead. But
it's a thing. It has to become a thing to be a thing.
Well, what do you think's going to happen number 8 next year? Or is Jared going to come back on
Luis
loan?
Alberto or something? I don't care. Jared ruined that jersey for himself more than some other player could ever do. Look, Liverpool have had some great number 7s.
We'll talk about Luis Alberto. There's some really interesting Liverpool transfer stuff that has come out this week officially from the club. So we'll get to him in a while.
So it's the first time Leicester back to Leicester. It's the first time they're out the zone. I think since November.
It's this fucking match. There's 10 seconds.
That didn't even get to the box.
No,
that was cleared about 40 yards from goal.
Oh my god. Okay.
So here's Mignolet. Here he comes.
He actually made an incredible double save at the start. There we go. Whistle time, is it?
One more chance. No.
He's going to get the Golden Glove this year, but yeah, here's Mignolet. Top clean sheets in the Premiership.
Yeah, Mignolet from 1,000 yards from the other goal. He was just going to hoof it up, I said.
Mignolet has more clean sheets than any other keeper.
Well, he's drawing with Fraser Foster.
That's pretty cool. Okay.
Full time.
There we go. Aston Villa and Man City, hell of a second half. Villa are just completely rejuvenated, and if it wasn't for a late Fernandinho goal, they would have gotten a great draw.
An absolute howler by Guzan.
Yes, well, that was giving Aguero the first goal. Yeah,
incredible.
Well, it's good stuff for Villa here.
I was amazed listening to the show last week at Dan's rant about how Dan's been vindicated saying you two were wrong. Like Tuchel, they're 2 points off relegation with Leicester.
They were definitely going down on Lambert. He's got
go down now.
He's got them to an FA Cup final.
He's had 2 matches, one against lower league opposition and a Liverpool team that's just given up. Like no one watched the FA Cup final going, that's well done by Sherwood. That was like, geez, that Jack Grealish lads can run. Liverpool are not ours here. They scored their second goal in the 65th minute and Liverpool didn't play for 25 minutes.
But you
and also you said that he brought in Kyle Walker, who's been playing since Harry Redknapp in 2010, so yeah.
No.
I won't mention the video.
He was under 21s. He was under 21s coach.
Should we talk about Kyle Walker?
Nah.
Do we know
under 21s coach? By the way, that's called bringing through players.
Okay.
Not bringing through.
Kyle Walker. Is it been verified that it is Kyle Walker?
I don't think it's him.
Okay. Everton knocked Man United off their great run of form as of late with a 3-0 victory at Goodison Park.
They lost their last match.
They did, but that was to the champions elect. McCarthy, Stones, and Morales getting on the score sheet. United just never looked in it for a second. It was kind of incredible.
They were pretty poor.
Like, this is against an Everton team that are no way near the level they were last year when they beat United, and this is also the game that gave the death knell in David Moyes' tenure at the club. But how
about
come
the difference now? Man United are top 4.
This is it. So why a similar result?
That third goal really made me laugh.
It was hilarious.
Oh no.
Morales is on side. No, well, Everton deserved it, but I think as well, since Everton got eliminated from the Europa League, haven't looked as tired or something, or they've been playing much better. They've got away with that relegation battle.
Martinez came in and said they weren't prepared for Europa League.
But like you said that as well, start of the year, I thought, it wouldn't really make a difference. But you actually said, I remember at the start of the year, to be fair to you, look, no, I wasn't listening back to any episode, I remember things that I said.
I said something.
And you did, you said the Europa League will really affect anyone in it, regardless. Because it must be just to travel, like to places like
of course
Armenia and Russia. It's further going.
Speaking about the first episode, and this was nothing to do with the fact it was Liverpool who were odds on to do it, but the idea of you predicting City not in the top 4, I was so terribly excited about that. It almost looked like it was going to happen.
I think with that win now, Man United losing, I think. Liverpool gone tonight, so
yeah. Arsenal and Chelsea 0-0 at the Emirates. So this goes back to a conversation myself and Dan had last week about this Chelsea style of play and everybody going on about how ugly it is and whatnot. Can you really argue, John? This is the same thing I said to Dan last week, and we have another example of it this week. It looks like he's not going to change his playbook. Can you argue with somebody who's this far ahead at the top of the league?
Well, we'll go into it in our season review, but he's far ahead in the league because he's got better players, as stupid as it sounds. Like, if you look at Liverpool, they're where they are because they can't score goals.
Yeah.
Arsenal are not challenging for the league because they don't have a world-class centre forward. They have Giroud, who is fine, but he's not going to get them enough goals to win the league, like Suarez would.
Sure.
And City also have a poor defence and an ageing midfield that don't really care. Like, you can look at every team, bar maybe United, who by squad you think they might have gone further.
Absolutely, yeah.
Midfield, but
on paper, really.
Yeah, and even if you look at the relegation zone, where QPR are similar to City, where they bought a lot of players, but sometimes
mercenaries. Really.
Yeah, they bought the mercenaries. Burnley look good, and they have.
If you have Burnley's work ethic on Man City, essentially,
but they don't have the squad or goals. They're like the Liverpool, that sort of thing. Like, although they were probably the best of their promoted teams, they'll be the one to go down with QPR because they don't have goals. But I just think that's
okay. Well, if Chelsea have the best players, should they be adopting a style where they don't get to show their stuff?
That's what annoys me about Chelsea.
Before you make your point, I just want to add to this that although it's become really evident in the last few games how negative their style of play is just to get whatever result they see fit on the day, this really has been exaggerated by the lack of Costa more than anything else. One would presume that a 0-0 against a team, Chelsea playing this way, could easily be a 2-0 if Costa was on the pitch. So could this negativity just be highlighted by the fact they don't have an out-and-out goal scorer?
I think what's happened is the PSG game knocked the absolute stuffing out of them. I honestly think that they've been absolutely terrible since then. They've just... They're very lucky against QPR. They're very lucky against...
They were lucky against QPR.
Hull, I think, as well. Hull gave them a good game. They're lucky in one or two. I thought Man United were probably the better team. They lost. They beat them as well, but they're kind of...
It's hard to say who's a better team.
It's kind of one of those things that they're not playing really well, but they're getting away with it. I think it's, well, for the first maybe 6 months this year, they were the best team in the country, but since January, February, since Cesca's gone off form, they've had no cohesion in the field, and I just think they've been quite... Is poor the word? I don't know what it is. Is it... I'd say it's the money that they've spent and the investment that they have and the players they have. There's no reason why they can't play a more expansive style. That's just my view. For a team who wouldn't spend as much money... Like, I got a bit of arguing with you over this on our chat today about Atletico Madrid. I wanted Real Madrid to win because Atletico Madrid didn't want to play. But all I'm trying to say is for the money that they've spent... compared to a different team like Madrid, they would have spent, like, what, Bale 100 million, Ronaldo 80, Ham 65, 70, Benzema 40. You know, the list goes on. There's players coming in and out.
They play expansive football, though.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying they're not going to take on a team to do that. While Chelsea have the money, they have the players. They can go a little bit more. Now, the Arsenal game, everyone knew they were going to do that. Everyone knew they were going to park the bus against Arsenal, and 0-0, I'd say, I would love what the odds were because Wenger hasn't beaten them. if they could have hold them for the first, I thought, half an hour, Arsenal won't score because Arsenal will come at the traps of them and get at them, which they did. They tried to win it, but they couldn't. And I think, Mourinho's, like I said about Tony Pulis earlier, he needed a draw. Yeah. And that's what he did. But I think, regardless if he needed a draw, if he had already won the league, I think he would have played like that.
John?
I think this will affect Mourinho in cup competitions more than league. I don't think the league really matters. I think you'll always have enough quality, but in cup competitions, if you even think of the Carling Cup, they lost the Champions League because PSG just wanted it more and put a bit of heart and scored 2 set pieces. They weren't outplayed.
Sure.
But even if you put the Carling Cup, which I know they eventually won, but in the semi-final there, bar Liverpool giving away a stupid penalty, Liverpool play well, and then a world-class goal by
Courtois played really well.
Yeah, world-class goal by Sterling. It gets Liverpool a job, but I just think the thing you need to score against Chelsea is a world-class player. Arsenal didn't show up. I thought Sanchez was their only hope, and they did play him off the park. But I just think in cup competitions, all it takes is one moment of magic. Chelsea could win the league the next 5 years for all I know, because City need to restart.
I do think as well.
I
do think as well. Just the thing about the Arsenal fans booing Chelsea, I thought that was quite ironic, to be honest.
Yeah.
And it's something to do with what Mourinho said. 10 years without a trophy is failure, and he's having his digs at Wenger. He hates
Wenger had the digs first.
But you know what I mean. They hate each other. He's having a go at them.
They could have easily been booing their own players.
But what I would say is the boring George Graham under Arsenal in the early 90s, late 80s.
20 years ago or something.
Yeah, but the stand it was 1-0 to the Arsenal. That's all that they did. There was Tony Adams, Steve Bold, David Seaman, Dixon, and Winterburn at the back. That was it. They'd score 1 and they'd win 1-0. That was it. And Wenger actually took over that philosophy now. Obviously, it's more attacking now. But for Arsenal, we're so successful playing under that.
I know, but it's probably.
So I don't think
you can call it hypocritical for them to. Yeah, these Arsenal fans that are watching are the Wenger fans, and I don't.
You know what I mean, though.
I think that this is the most confident that Arsenal fans have felt about their team and the form that they were in, and they were like, we can play Chelsea today. Chelsea just didn't play.
Do you not agree, though, that Mourinho got it completely right? Arsenal have won 8 games in a row. If they did lose, it was still a lot to catch up, but Mourinho was we're not losing this match. It was the right thing to do.
It's fine, but
I don't agree with it. I thought it was absolutely. I thought it was awful.
I've watched 2 Chelsea matches in a row now, and I'm never doing it again.
It was terrible.
They affect the show a bit.
Yeah,
I thought you told me to fuck off in that thing. Actually,
okay.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's arguing that it wasn't the right move. It's more so, like John pointed out, it's the enjoyment of it. And Mourinho in a press conference today said he feels that people are going to adopt this, and a lot more teams will start doing it in the future.
Do you think
that's a pity.
The tiki taka with Barcelona, people tried to replicate that. Then there was the kind of counter-attacking strength of the German football there, a couple of years ago at Bayern and Dortmund. Do you think now Park the Bus is going to come back in again under Mourinho?
Not until it was Champions League. It's what happened in.
Pretty spot on there.
It just goes in repeat sections. That's how football was when Liverpool won the Champions League and Porto won it. You just.
2003.
You take the 0-0 away and you try to win it home.
2003 was the Milan team against Juventus, terrible final. 2004 was the Porto. 5 was Liverpool. It wasn't then until 6 from Barca maybe kind of broke the mould. But Barca, Man United kept kind of winning them all the way up, and then Chelsea hit them back. Okay. Then the Germans came in. So you are right. It does come in cycles.
It is. It's certainly cyclical. Okay, so Liverpool and Hull finished 1-0, and just really.
Have a table, but
it's just really poor. Yeah, it's a good win for Hull. They're 5 points clear of relegation now.
Leicester, Chelsea tomorrow.
Chelsea tomorrow. So let's just talk about Liverpool for a while. First off, it should be noted that there wasn't very many Liverpool fans in that stadium tonight.
They did that on purpose.
I know.
And they've won 1 game in 5, Liverpool. Am I right?
Getting back to the fans, there was no Liverpool fans in that stadium tonight because of this away ticket prices. So Hull, have you heard about this? So Hull basically have a different away price depending on how big the team is. So Liverpool fans were asked to pay 50 quid to come to this game tonight, while Crystal Palace fans were asked to pay, I believe it was 25.
Stoker 15.
So
but is that not supply and demand though?
Liverpool, they allocate the same amount.
Oh, there's no extra tickets
No, this is okay. So there was a protest outside Anfield tonight, and obviously a lot of people didn't go to the game because of that. I don't know how much that affected the performance, but it is about the fact that Liverpool fans are getting.
But it's nothing to do with Liverpool though.
It's all away fans because it happens in every match, but they just organise it for all.
Okay.
Every away stadium.
Liverpool transfer stuff. Okay, so this is by the Liverpool guy from the Echo. the main insider, if you will.
David Villa.
3 players. It's Milner, Ings, and
Milner, Ings, Dipe. Well, we'll talk about Dipe Saga in a second. Balotelli, Barini, Lambert, Coates, Luis Alberto, and Enrique are all looking to be shifted.
I'll drive that minibus off a cliff myself.
Yep, if there is people to take them. And beside Ings and Benteke, the most interesting thing, we haven't heard a lot about the Milner thing in a while, and God knows he'd probably like to go somewhere else.
Great.
I think it's done.
He's very good.
You think it's done?
It's so quiet. I think it's done.
It's unusually quiet.
He'd be a great signing.
I think wonderful signing.
I obviously would play for Leeds, but I think he's just quality. I think he's really, really good. So underrated.
The most interesting thing about it is this Depay saga. Obviously, people were saying that he was tipped to move to United because he has played under Van Gaal at the national level. He was supposed to go over for talks with United, but supposedly secret talks with Liverpool were held. Considering we absolutely squandered the draw we had last year being in the Champions League and the money we had from Luis Suarez, a signing like Memphis Depay would be unheard of, considering the position Liverpool will be in at the end of the season. Do you see it happening, or do you still think United will be the most likely?
I think if United want to, United have.
Yeah, I'd probably go down like United have gone, and looks like they got ITK Gundogan. He was brilliant.
He was brilliant. He's no longer brilliant.
Well, we'll see how his fitness is. That's kind of the main thing. But
what do they do at Dortmund? Is it just because they run all day that they always have injuries? Like, it just seems like the good players go,
it could be
the players who are class but injured.
It could be. It could just be doctors and medical staff could be poor. Like Pep Guardiola sacked your man to Bayern Munich last
that was
week.
different.
If Klopp comes into Liverpool, there's a good chance Sturridge might die.
Yeah, I'd say so. Speaking of Klopp, we talked about this last week. Do you have any idea where the most likely place is, and do you see him being at a team by September?
Honestly,
yeah.
If he's going to be at a team in September, the most likely thing I'd see would be Liverpool.
Really?
Who?
Klopp.
Now a lot of people.
I'm not. This isn't me being like, I hope we get him. I hope we stay with But one, he's not going to go to City.
There is a lot of chat on Liverpool Liverpool message boards and stuff.
One, he's a risk manager. They're not going to sack the best manager in.
I think Ancelotti, if he has to win the Champions League this year, or else he's gone.
Yeah, I agree that he might be gone, but I don't think Klopp will go there.
Who would go there?
I don't know, but Klopp is too much of a risk.
I definitely agree with John there. I also think this Ancelotti. I
don't think Klopp will go to Madrid.
I also think this Ancelotti thing is nonsense. By the way, he won the Champions League last year.
I'm saying I agree that he wants a Champions League team, but I'm just saying he wants to manage in England. He has said in the past how he likes Liverpool and Arsenal. He's not going to get the Arsenal job. So I'm saying that he might see the job at Liverpool with young players and see it similar to Dortmund. Know that they have a crowd that loves him and go with that. And the English press would love him.
Not unless Wenger moves upstairs. You don't know.
That will not happen.
Hypothetically, as a Liverpool fan, would you take him?
What?
Hypothetically, as a Liverpool fan, would you take Klopp over Brendan this September?
I don't know. It's hard to say. Last year I went, the one thing we need to sort out is the defence. And
yeah.
We did that, technically. Like, we're going to finish top clean sheets in the league.
Yeah, but it's coming out.
I
suppose Suarez is there, so that's the reason why.
And Sturridge was dead.
It seems like April or May last year they went, right, these are our transfer targets. And we got them all. And then we saw Suarez and they were like, shit.
Yeah.
And they took a risk on Balotelli, which was obviously not going to work.
Well, they didn't get the Shaq attack. Okay.
What about
disagree,
him huh? What about him gone? Because I thought it was like kind of a
thing
where he'd go to Inter and then they'd sell him on.
Yeah, well,
so everyone works out.
Given Inter's position, I wouldn't be surprised if Brendan tried one last time for Shaq. Because
you were interested in.
Would you have Rafa back?
No,
you wouldn't.
No,
That would be more realistic than Klopp in my view.
Oh, well, I'm sure it would be more realistic, yeah. Okay, the PFA Awards. Hazard got Player of the Year. Do we all agree with this?
It's such his stats this season are worse than Mata's 2 years ago, and Mata didn't finish in the top 3. I think that kind of
now, is that just a difference in class, or is that just Hazard isn't the best?
Hazard in the business end of the season has probably brought Chelsea through points where they shouldn't have got.
Not really, Dan. It was more sticking people behind the ball. Hazard hasn't got like a tremendous amount of goals or assists this year overall.
Like every other year, you could see players who just.
There's the league there now, actually. Yeah, 4 points they're up. So,
go ahead, John.
Every other year, like Suarez last year, was it Van Persie the year before?
Sure.
No, it was.
Yeah, Torre maybe. No.
Last year was Suarez, then the year before.
this year. I can think of. I know Van Persie won.
Would
Yeah, I'd say Van Persie was 2 years before.
have been Bale?
No, it would have been Bale than Van Persie.
Bale then for Percy with Arsenal.
Yeah, but like you can see each like Bale was dragging Spurs to their top 4,
5.
top 5. But they were he was dragging the challenge. Van Persie almost won the league for United in that first half, similar to what Chelsea did this year. Suarez was world class. He may be the best player in the world at the minute. We might get to that later. I think he is. And
Okay.
like every other year, this year it's just been a bit of a like they did team of the year. Like the only arguments are like people are like, oh, Coutinho should be in there, and the only arguments is like you might have a Southampton defender in there, and the rest should be the Chelsea team.
Well, there is Bertrand's in there.
Okay, so yeah, the team of team of the
Coutinho
year.
should not be in there.
Well, hold on,
There's
let's.
no one you could really argue.
Okay, hold on,
Aguero.
This
Aguero
is
should
this is
be
the argument. Okay, here's
centre mid.
yeah,
Three
exactly.
up front.
Okay, so here is they have 3 up front. Here is the team: De Gea, Ivanovic, Terry, Cahill, Bertrand, Sanchez, Matic, Coutinho, Hazard, Costa, Kane. Now, Jose in the same press conference where he said he predicted other people would start parking the bus similar to himself, was baffled that Cesc wasn't included.
I would have had him.
What he didn't realise was that the voting was during Christmas when Cesc's slump was at an all-time high.
Which has continued.
He did.
Yeah.
He was great for the first 3 months. But
He did have about. Well, he must be on about 6 or 7 goals. He must have had about 15 assists.
no way he has 15
I don't
assists.
know about that.
15 assists would be like double the top Premiership of all time, and he's not there. He's on like 8.
I'd say he's probably on about that. Anyway, the point is...
he's had he had a massive part in the
I'm not
first
saying
6
he's
months.
good, but I just think it'd be pretty ridiculous if the PFE player came out of the year and they had what people are saying 10 Chelsea players and Kane. Like I know Klein's in there, but people would be like, "Oh, Klein shouldn't be in there." Well, what about Aspilicueta? What about John Terry?
Well, Terry isn't there.
I'm just saying.
Terry does deserve
I'm
to
not
be
saying that Coutinho deserves to be in there, like Liverpool fan bias. I'm just saying that it's been a pretty poor year. You could arguably put Carrick.
Yeah, no, there's been no consistent player this year. That's why it's been so weird. Like
Shit,
Hazard. We all know Hazard's a good player, but there's been no standout. As John said, there's been no player you go, him, he's the guy.
Well, we talked about this last year. Like, obviously last year, or we talked about this in the last show, that last year it was Aguero and Suarez, and that was very obvious. This year, not so much at all. And I think it's more so much the Hazard hype train that out of all the players within the Premier League that can break out and become one of the best players in the world, he's been the one who's been tipped.
Would you swap Hazard for Bale?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I think
No, as in you
I heard about this swap deal today, and it's not happening.
I don't think it's happening. It's not going to happen.
Do you know why it's not happening? Because swap deals don't happen, even at low level. So it's not going to happen at this kind of level.
No, I'm just saying that's the hypothetical thing going on at the
I
moment.
think of one famous one.
Well, go ahead.
Michael Owen and Antonio Nunes.
Oh, yeah. This was many decades ago. Coutinho, I agree with John. I would have put Cambiasso in. Kane wins Young Player of the Year. I think that's very fair.
Yeah.
I don't remember a single Harry Kane goal. And he scored against Liverpool.
Well, he scored the Chelsea game. He was very good.
That's one.
You don't remember a single Harry Kane goal?
A single Harry Kane goal.
I don't remember you sitting down to watch many Spurs matches.
No, but like I watch Match of the Day every week.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing that's that memorable.
He does all kinds of goals.
Does he?
Left foot, right foot, back foot, header.
I heard a fun stat today that this season Harry Kane has 20 goals
Aye.
and Falcao has 19 shots on target.
That's quite incredible.
Where's Falcao on that team? That's critical. 4
there we
goals
go.
and 19
Did you
shots.
see him starting? Did he start? I don't know.
He did.
Started, yeah.
He hit the crossbar once, and like I was in the pub with a few United fans, and honestly, like I think we all just celebrated just to be like, "Ah, it'd be nice if we got one, wouldn't it?"
Yeah. No, I
He
feel
hit the
the same.
post against Chelsea.
Yeah, I think that means nothing.
The sports people who reside in Britain, sports rich list came out yesterday, and out of the top 20 there were 7 City players. So that just shows the wage bracket there. Falcao was there though too because he resides in England now. His net worth, I believe, was something like 39 million.
Who was the highest? Was it Lewis Hamilton?
Yes, it was Lewis Hamilton at 82 million. The highest footballer was, this is easy,
Rooney.
Yeah, Torre.
Rooney,
Oh.
and his gross or his net worth is
70?
2. Well done. 72. Okay, myself and Dan made Champions League previews last week's show when we were watching the first round of games. Wednesday then happened, and we are, in my opinion, left with semi-finals for the first time in God knows how long, with the 4 best teams in Europe, in my opinion. So Barcelona against Bayern, Pep's first time going against his old club, which is just going to be so exciting. We'll talk about that in a moment. And then we also have Madrid against the old lady. Now, before we break down these matches, I just want to ask you both who you want to win and who you think will win. John?
Barcelona for both.
Okay, that's interesting.
For Suarez, is it?
Okay, that's all right. Dan?
I said last week Barcelona will win it, and I'm going to still stick with them for both.
Okay, I want Juve to win it.
Even though I'd kind of like anyone bar Madrid.
Okay, that's fair. I want Juve to win it. I think that Munich are going to win it.
So of course Madrid will win it now because I said that.
Barcelona versus Bayern. So much.
I wish this was the final.
Really?
Yeah.
How come?
I just think a 2-legged tie would be great.
Okay, I completely agree, and I also wouldn't like.
I just want lots of it, to be honest. I want 180 minutes at least of it.
Yeah, no, that's my reason too. I also think that just an El Clasico Champions League final for the first time
I
ever.
don't think we're ever gonna get it. I think if Barca win on the Tuesday, I think Juventus will not be winning.
Could you imagine Pepe be off in the first 30 seconds? It would be just phenomenal.
I don't think they play that way anymore, to be honest. Like we watched
Pepe's Pepe.
Pepe and Ramos will get booked.
Pepe Ramos will get booked.
Yeah.
You got odds on that. Who do you see taking the Bayern and Barcelona game? There's so many different factors to it. I was saying to Dan during the week that if there's anybody who knows the Barcelona weaknesses, do you think Pep might have their number?
I think it depends on injuries, because Bayern have a few at the minute.
Bayern only had the first, I know players will come back, but the first leg of the Porto game, they had 14, 15 first team players actually in the squad. They only played kids on the bench, and they've never played actually in the Champions League squad.
I
So
looked at the match you guys were watched the highlights, and that was like, well, these guys are good, and also, man, these Porto guys.
the goalkeeper was just
absolutely
shocking.
Yes.
But it's so interesting now because
I don't think we're going to get Schweinsteiger back, but Robin and Ribery would be nice.
What way are Bayern going to play? Are they going to play like they did under Japankas against Bayern? Can Pep play like that? Go, you sit back and let's counter-attack.
Oh, I think it's.
I don't know if they can.
I think he'll try and play them.
I think he'll try and play them.
I think at home they'll try and play them, but away, if they do it at the new camp, I don't know. I think it's like at the new camp first.
It is.
But
That'd be
nice.
I just can't imagine Pep going, let's have these guys have the ball more, like it's Champions League semi-final. It's so interesting to see it, because even against Madrid last year, he played the tiki-taka, he got hit in the break. Now, Barca are going to do that, but it's so...
definitely do that. Like, it's in the two knockout matches they've had already, Barca
are going to get at them, as in Barca will press them. Like, Barca are playing the best they played probably about 2 years, 3 years.
I agree.
Since Tito got sick, it was the best I've been playing the last 3 months.
I'd comfortably put a decent amount of money on Suarez to score in the Allianz. He's been incredible in Champions League.
Yeah,
I'm saying if he scores and they go to the final and even win it, he should be.
It's not even that, John. Is big goals in the last 2 months, like the 2 against City, 2 against PSG, 1 against Real Madrid, and these are winning goals as well. These are winning goals.
I absolutely think he should win the award.
He's playing incredible
massively, but the match, the El Clasico, that goal he scored, because we're spoiled by a lot of the great goals he scored. That was just. To take it down the long ball and hit it, and even the goals today.
Did you see the 6 goals? They were absolutely. I know, but all 6 were just like.
Who were they against today?
Getafe.
His second goal in the PSG game was just
made Luiz look like a fool twice.
But it was just the silliest goal. It couldn't have been more perfect.
Goal. I remember, even years watching him in Liverpool. It's the only player who will ever watch you. It's like a video game.
It's great. It's great to see him though. He's such a natural. Like he's just. He's like it's like. He doesn't try almost. He's just like he just gets it and it'll go in.
He makes it look effortless.
But it's just. But he's so. You can just tell he's a street player. Dan, he didn't learn that. He was born with it.
I hate Barcelona, and I said I want him to win it.
I'm well aware.
I think it's fair to say
it's the first time ever you've agreed with me Barcelona or something.
I think it's fair to say who the favourite in the Juve Madrid match is.
That'll help Juve a lot as well because all the pressure's on Madrid and the way they've been so inconsistent this year. Like they played Celta Vigo the other day on Sunday night, and it was a ding dong match. I could have gone either way. It was a tough place to go, Vigo, but God, they got lucky.
I just want to ask you, John, because myself and Dan on the show and off the show have talked about the merits of Juve for hours over the last week. Do you believe that Juve deserve to be in the semi-final? Like, would you class them, as I said earlier, as the fourth best team in Europe? I think when you look at this, if they are, it's a distant fourth. But would you give it to them? Because I think over the last 2 years that this is about where they are.
It's weird. The Italian league is always weird to me. It's like,
but they're so far ahead of everybody else.
Far ahead, but,
and when Madrid were going on that huge run at the start of the season, when we were doing shows, our first shows, and they undefeated, you know, Juve were right with them.
I don't think the whole standard of Serie A is as good as La Liga, though.
Yeah, you want to, I'm delighted to see them there, and like a little part of me was like, I want them to win just for something different. Like, I don't want Madrid to win because the Champions League is so like cool and so like no one's ever held it twice in a row, and I kind of want it to stay that way. Like, but much that like Ancelotti, but I'm not like too big in the Italian league, and also I'm happy to see them there. But they're that team that's just not had a difficult draw.
I think the last, like Barcelona also deserve to win it as well, because they did not have an easy group to begin with. They had PSG, Ajax, and there was another. Who was the other team? I can't remember. Then they had Man City.
That happened.
They had the hardest draw probably in Man City.
Sure.
Then they had a tough draw in PSG. They had got Bayern Munich. If they can go through that, and they played good football. They've got Messi, Suarez, and Neymar, who scored 96 goals, I think, between them there this year.
Really?
It's something absolutely. They've beaten the original one of Henry,
Eto'o
Messi of 2008-9 season, and the season's not even over. I think they deserve it. But that's just my view. I think they do deserve it. It's great seeing Juventus there, but I just think that lack of pace for Juventus could. I know we talked about it earlier.
Well, the way they play,
I think they have a lack of pace in the team. I think they're wily and cute, and they will give anyone a game. There will not be many goals in that Madrid Juve game.
No.
But I wouldn't like Bale and Ronaldo at full speed against them.
Against Liechtensteiner and Evra.
I just don't fancy it.
Okay, you wanted to talk about the upcoming internationals and stuff like that. So just go through it for us, please.
Well, Ireland, when you were away, actually, they drew to Poland.
Okay.
And we were absolutely diabolical first half. You've no idea how bad we were.
Right.
It was... I actually goes, that was awful. It was the worst I've ever seen them play. Second half, we were actually really good. But like, Dunphy lads are raving, we're playing really well, we're playing really well, that was brilliant, we can play. It's like, all that they did was give the ball to James McLean and McEady and Coleman on the wings and get balls into the box. Simple. We're not good enough to play midfield. Win the ball, give it to the wide man, and run.
Well, if that's what works for the team, that's what they should be doing.
So that's exactly. But that's all it was. So like, I think there was a lot of things as well, like about the hype and everything we have. Like we're playing a close game now.
But Northern Ireland.
I don't actually understand the point of this at all.
3 days before the England game. Yeah, what is the point of this?
We've got Scotland coming up, so we've got Northern Ireland, England, and Scotland all in the space like 2 weeks. I don't understand what's going on, to be honest. So
you're trying to go for that thing that the rugby have when you beat other home nations.
Oh, Grand Slam, is it?
Stupid Six Nations.
They're going to go for the Grand Slam.
They're going for the Grand Slam?
We did win the car. Was it the...
Answer the question.
Yeah, well, we have to play Wales as well, so...
True.
And France, if you want to do that.
Well,
and Italy. And we're not going to do that. But we did win the Home Nations Cup there a couple of years ago. We beat Northern Ireland 3-0 in the final, I remember.
That was like the most awkward thing.
It was.
John O'Shea and Robbie Keane, who'd lifted trophies before, just be like, here. And then Stephen Hunt be like,
I remember Gibson just kept shooting from long range and kept scoring as well.
Back in the day.
He's a real pro player, isn't he?
State of the game.
Shite.
Okay. So
that'd be a weekly thing.
Yeah. Every week we'll see what the state of the game is, and let it be said that in the last week of April 2015, shite. So, young players to watch out for.
Well, I had to think about Jack Grealish. John, what do you think about him?
Where did you read this? Get this Grealish fella from? He's not been in the papers, or the news, or anything in the last 2 weeks.
He's not even declared for the country.
That's told. He's not going to.
His dad did a radio interview the other day, and that's just well. First off, the one part I like about his dad was the same if like my son became a professional footballer, where he Jack popped in his jersey from the semi-final, wearing it all day. It's a bit tight. They're walking around with a big beer belly with like some belly top that his son's giving him.
But yeah, but like, he's not going
it's also my name on the back too.
Yeah, it's interesting though. Martin O'Neill has been attending a few League of Ireland games, and he's been looking at Dane Massey, who actually is from Knockline.
Game isn't that bad.
So tell me about
the
left back for Dundalk.
Is there any League of Ireland news?
Dundalk or beat Cork 2-1.
So they're going to win it again.
Richie Towell has just been incredible. He's so good.
Did Rovers organise a match or something?
Organise a match?
Yeah, like a friendly against some big team. Did I write that somewhere?
There's talk of you always get big friendlies over like the summer, but Towell has scored 9 goals now, and it's incredible why he's. It's not like you always go like, oh, he's the next player to go across to England, but now it's actually why is he not playing at least in a championship team? He is that good. He's just streets out of everyone. He's good enough. He'd be good enough for Ireland in 12 months.
Who?
Towell. There's
Okay,
people not much better than him in the
Your
squad.
man Grealish, he's been playing for like the Ireland under 21s.
Yeah.
And he's been good. So like everyone's been asking Martin O'Neill like when's he gonna play. The truth is that Martin O'Neill asked him and his dad, and they're like, we're keeping our options open. Like, and since he like played well in the semi-final,
He's not playing. He's not gonna play for us. That's just.
It doesn't matter. He can get his 1 cap for it.
Yeah, he's good. He's
like
good.
Joey Barton's comments. I would have had 100 caps if I was born in any other nation. Probably.
Tell me this:
Scotland play.
who are Rovers are playing in Tala this Friday? Who are they playing against?
We got Drogheda United.
And what time is that at?
8:00.
It's a pity. I was going to go. I can't now. I actually was going to go. I was going to
Really?
suggest we all go. Yeah.
What are you doing?
A few guys from the radio station are going, and they were like, "You,
Really?
they're your local team." And I was like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Why don't you go? It's a big game." And I was like, yeah,
Well, it's a big game. It's really fucking
Yanks,
true.
Sterling.
yeah.
big game.
It's a big game, man.
It's gonna be a shootout.
0-0, we won. Awards. Okay, so Dan, if you want to start off with your goal of the week.
I haven't even thought of any of this. I have to think everything off the top of my head.
John, if you want to start off with your goal of the week.
My goal of the week was gonna give it to good old Charlie Adam, but I'll give it to Luis Suarez's first today. I just thought it was a lovely piece of play, and ended up with a very nice finish.
I'll give it to Xavi's goal because it's probably his last ever goal for Barcelona.
Why do you say this? They've got about 6 more games between now and the end of the season.
He scored, I think, twice this year. So
fair enough.
And he doesn't play. So
Was from open play?
oh yeah, all the goals were even Messi's penalty. He had a little dink over the keeper. Like that shows the confidence in that team. 0-0. I know it's like a Tafe at home. They'd be expecting to win that, but 0-0 after 14 minutes to win a penalty, and Messi does a dink over the keeper.
Yeah,
it just shows. And it seems to be a really good atmosphere in the camp. That wasn't the case around
Sounds
Christmas.
a bit audacious to me.
So, audacious chip over the keeper.
Okay, so hero of the week, John.
I was going to give it to the if I may split it into 3, break it up. I was going to give it to the Barcelona front 3 today. They scored 101 goals.
It was 101. I thought it was like 95 or 6.
101, so they've scored more than Messi, Eto'o,
And Henry.
one, which was the top previously.
Amazing.
Okay,
Ridiculous.
and that was the top front 3 combined score ever in Europe, is it?
Yeah.
Or Barcelona?
Barcelona, sorry.
Okay, grand.
Might be Europe.
It has to be probably everyone.
I'm sure Madrid had some mad jokes back in the day. But
Really?
It might be top of Europe.
Front 3 though, like these guys aren't out and out front 3.
Like Suarez missed the first 2 months of the season, 2.5 months of the season.
It's a fair point.
And he wasn't even fit when he went in because he had no match time.
Yeah.
He wasn't even allowed to train in a stadium or anything. So.
No, they did. They allowed him to train. Remember, they lifted that.
Oh, did they? Oh, yes. They did.
Your hero of the week.
This is hard, really. After this, I really should have taken notes.
Yeah, it's not like you didn't do the script or anything.
No, I didn't at all.
Inter Milan.
Give it, Zanetti. There you go.
Is that
Zanetti,
yours?
hero of the week.
Easy, I suppose.
Yeah.
Spoofer of the week, Dan. See, I asked him just straight away to put more pressure on him.
This is tough now. Really, this is too many questions.
Come on.
Spoof for the week, I will give to Cellino because he's coming back this week.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
What a prick.
Are we going to have to talk about him then?
No.
Alright.
No.
John, Spoofer of the week.
Let me take you to the magical land of Scotland, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've all played football, right? We've all been kicking the ball around, doing a bit of dribbling, and someone's taking the ball off our feet, and it's really annoyed us so much that we just want to kick the player. Or, as St. Mirren captain Steve Thompson did, he threw a spiked spear to 20-year-old John McGinn's leg.
Yes, he did, causing an open, gaping wound in the poor man's leg.
Oh, actually, I've got the right people out.
And this
Let him
poor
finish.
John
I'll say it
McGinn
later.
has had many injuries.
Oh.
He's hurt himself in many hilarious ways. But that's the most ridiculous thing
In
I've ever
many hilarious ways.
Google it.
There was
Okay.
I'm actually offending spoofers now. Doncaster Rovers TV. They made highlights of their match
That's a hero thing.
against. It could be. Did you see this?
It was hilarious.
I think it was against Yeovil or something, and they go. It was a 27-second highlight of their match. So about 10 seconds of that was the players coming out, shaking hands, kick off, a goal kick, and a throw in, and that was the end of the match.
No, the goal kick was a full-time whistle.
It was that was they go see highlights of our match.
At least they're being honest, right?
Doncaster Rovers. There
Okay,
you go.
my hero and spoofer of the week is the same human being. There was a viral clip that came out this week of a gentleman randomly in South America kicking a ball about, and then he slides the ball under his calf with backspin, puts his bottom on it, it slides up his back as he's going to lie down, and he flips back up onto his feet backwards. Have you seen this?
No.
How's that make him a spoofer?
Because it's just, what are you up to? Imagine how many times he tried and failed that.
Probably going to say Kyle Walker's pug.
Is it Kyle Walker?
No, but
Let's okay, Dan. Can you go through the fantasy football after you give us this week's teaser, or maybe I'll do it.
Or last week's teaser.
There wasn't one last week, but was there one
didn't
eons ago? Probably.
I haven't listened back to that show yet.
You just got that far back. Like.
Okay, well, even though
I'm only in July. Give me a few more weeks.
Are you actually listening back to all the old ones?
No,
Okay.
I'm just trying to get the hits up by pressing refresh.
Okay. Who scored the winning goal for Real Madrid when they beat Juventus? This is very topical. In the 1998 Champions League final.
There you go.
Okay, we'll just have John's random guess as always.
Well, it has to be Rule.
I knew he'd say that.
Yes.
And you're wrong. Like, as usual.
Alright.
You're always wrong.
Okay, we should talk about that rule. Did we ever talk about the rule story?
Not on this. It has to be one of the funniest things.
If the listeners ever play one of the three of us in a game of FIFA or Pro, we all have our own funny ways of running past people. My one is just saying every time I beat a player.
Yeah, that's correct. That is correct.
And Neil just has rule.
Yeah, it was incredible. It was Liverpool against Real Madrid. It was Pro 2011, perhaps, and I was losing 2-1.
I'd say this is Pro 8, man.
Really, was it Pro 8?
I think it's Pro 8.
That's when you and me met.
You put Raul right wing
With 5 minutes left.
An old time fart.
With 5 minutes
who couldn't
left.
run right wing.
5 minutes left.
2008.
And
It would have been 2008-9.
Prime fella back in the day.
And I just kept beating everybody. I just kept making a fool out of 5 stars, I think. And just trying to cut in and score. And I hit the post and I couldn't get it back. But it was an amazing 5-minute performance from the El Fogey himself. Dan, football is the show we talk about.
It is indeed, yes.
Do you want to change that?
Yeah.
Football's a bit boring.
I think we should talk about EastEnders.
That's very interesting because I was just... the concept...
Even though I haven't watched a full episode of EastEnders.
I was trying to think, like, what are there not a lot of typical podcasts? Like, we couldn't do books, we couldn't do video games, we couldn't do movies.
Snooker. Darts. The answer's darts.
But there's also going to be ones for a reason, you know? And that might be it, you know?
Let's talk about wrestling.
If
No
we-
one
if
does
we
them.
could give up
Yeah.
like one day a month, we could do a Master League one season in every pro. And just record it and get the best.
We have to get
Jesus,
we have to
that's
get the new
incredible.
app as well. What's that new app where we can video each other? We can video the thing been done. Those are the
Camera, is it?
What are you on about?
you can video us live. It's like Snapchat except live video. Have you seen that? There's a
No.
new app. Yeah.
It's all the youths are into these days.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Instead
Is
of
this a
playing
P?
video games, they watch people play
Is it
video
going to
games.
P or something? It's a
Scramble photo. What is it called?
That'd be a silent P then. If it's
Okay, come on. Fantasy football.
What about
Uh,
it?
Talk about
standings,
way down,
please.
I haven't changed it.
Yeah, I haven't changed
I
our
literally
team.
gave up.
Oh, will we just go from like the top 5 or something?
No.
After your
Go to,
wedding-
yeah,
after
because
your-
there's so many there. Go on. Just
Okay.
Your wedding deal, I gave up on fantasy football. You're just cool. And also Liverpool lost too.
Yeah, I know.
Let's just check here now. As Neil still got Gerrard captain.
I do. I haven't made a change since the start of the season.
Pele got you 13 points this week.
Oh, do I have Pele on my team?
You're right,
Pele. So you got Dave Nocton last, Seamus 11, Tommy 10, end up to 9th. Versus Tommy. Neil, respectable 8th.
That's the lowest I've been.
58 points for Neil this week. I think he's beaten everyone. Look at
What the fuck?
that. John, he's... no, you're fine. You're like way over 100 points ahead of him.
Oh, Jesus, John.
Cool Whip, but Gary Kerr, he's really taken a fall from grace, isn't he? Rob,
Dan still okay.
it's 1,661. Stephen Vincent, he's climbing the ranks, just ahead of him in 4th. Number 2 is Ronan, and number 1 is...
So you're third. That's incredible, Dan. That's
What a fall from grace.
We stopped doing the show and I lost my...
Just tell me the points here. Come on, don't be like...
I'm miles behind Noel. I've been getting horrendous texts from Noel on a random Saturday night. It's like, yeah, Kane's got a hat-trick for me. It's like...
Come on,
Do you not have like a draft save in your phone? Well, at least I can.
So I've caught up a bit now in Noel.
He doesn't listen.
But it's 1,732 I'm on. Ronan is on 1746, so only a couple ahead of me. And Noel's, the Saucy Jack, are 1795. So I've got like
the year of his 70, birth, funnily enough.
I've got 1795.
Yeah.
What's his points?
1795.
Ah.
So he's 300 years old.
Absolutely. Can you not tell? The hack of him.
Well, the hack of him at your wedding, so maybe. Okay. And eating a kebab.
Well, congratulations, Noel. We have to go back and listen to the first show and see what prize you're going to get. I think we're bringing him out or something, are we?
We're bringing him to...
no, that was...
No. It's our thing. It's our predictions.
What's the winner of the...
The predictions for the two prizes.
We named the league after him next year.
Oh, wow. Was that it?
Well, no, I was going to get him a present. So I was going to do the best ones.
We're getting him a golden mic.
Well, yeah, we should get him a golden mic and bring him... I was just going to bring him to Rovers, to be honest.
That's so funny.
Sounds like more of a punishment.
Yeah, get a punishment for him.
Whoever finishes last should get that.
Okay, everybody, thanks very much for listening. If you enjoyed the show, please do share it and let people know about it. We do it free out of the goodness of our hearts every week, and all you ask... or all we ask of you, if you do listen, is that you tell other people it exists. From myself and Dan and John, we'll be back same time next week with more ITK Soccer Show.